Hello. So, Yoyo, 5-year-old company, launched in London at Imperial College, originally as a payment and loyalty app. We were kind of one of the first to come along and say these guys at Starbucks have done something interesting in the world of payment and loyalty on mobile, so let's replicate that. 5 years later, what we've discovered we really are is the world's most powerful commerce platform. Fundamentally, what we do is we combine marketing, payment, and loyalty into a simple, single transaction experience that enables the merchant to truly know their customer like never before, both online and in store, and at the same time, from a consumer's perspective, to seamlessly collect any loyalty points, stamps, digital itemized receipt, etc., as part of that transaction experience. So as mentioned, I'm Michael. I thought I'd put this slide in here after a long night out last night. I might need to remind myself of who I am. This is a slightly younger looking version of me. So back to Yoyo, we recognize that with what we're building, what we're really doing is we're in the business of helping our customers, whether that is a merchant or whether that is a user, to really maximize the lifetime value of their buying experience. So from a merchant's point of view, it's about giving you the tools to say, understand who your customers are based on what they buy from you, when they buy from you, where they buy from you, how frequently they buy from you, and giving you the tools to retain that value that you're accruing every time they transact, but equally give you the tools that enable you to then hopefully grow that value of the customer. And from a consumer's perspective, knowing exactly the rewards you're earning without having to think about it, without having to forget about it, is the value that we're driving there. And the reason why we've got into this game is kind of a recognition that the payment industry is going through massive change right now, globally. But really at the forefront of this is the European market through both competition and regulation. We do believe that the world of zero payment fees is coming. I don't think it's too far away from the first acquirer going out to market with a zero cost of payment acceptance. So from our point of view, if there's no money left in payment because it's such a highly commoditized service, then all the money has to be in value-added services. On top of that, clearly the world has changed. The payment industry was never invented for this digital-first environment and world that we now live. And it's changed to such an extent that I think we all realize that the game we're in now, payment is just a piece of data, but it's one component of the data that's going through a point of sale. So, like The Economist, we believe that this data is the most valuable resource on the planet. But all the while it's just in the form of data and it's sat in the point of sale, there inherently is no value in it. The real value is in capturing that data through a pipeline, which we call our Commerce API, and taking it to the Yoyo factory where we're actually able to do interesting things with that data that inform merchants' decisions about what they're going to do next with their customer relationship. More recently, Facebook announced that they're looking to put a payment mechanism into WhatsApp. I think that's quite interesting, and I think it's quite timely, considering this slide here, where we've been believing for the last 5 years there is a convergence of financial services and marketing. It's becoming one industry, essentially commerce. And again, I think that looking at what Facebook are looking to do with WhatsApp really highlights this. In the future, the only place that you should really ever market to a customer is directly to their wallet. Hence why we've put together marketing, payment, and loyalty. Marketing is the investment that a brand or a merchant is making. What they want to know is how much of that investment is driving a return. The payment is the point of interaction that will literally tell them whether or not their marketing has worked. And the more they get that marketing aspect right, the more likely they are to generate loyalty. And of course, the more loyalty they generate with their customer base, the more data they're then able to use to make their next decision about how to influence the future behavior. When we talk about Yoyo as a buying experience, we recognize that we have put mobile at the heart of a transaction. So from a consumer's point of view, Yoyo is an app. It can be called Yoyo. It can be a retailer-branded app, like in the UK, Caffè Nero. That app is completely built and powered and serviced by Yoyo. I simply add my credit or debit card to my Yoyo wallet, and I transact. And when I transact, because Yoyo is capturing all of the data at the point of sale, we're able to seamlessly deliver the loyalty points, the digital itemized receipt, the stamps, any reward voucher that you may have earned. We enable you to order ahead for collection. We're about to enable you to order at table and pay at table. We're enabling you to use your Yo-Yo wallet to transact online with our merchants that are omni-channel merchants. This is a true end-to-end buying experience like has never been created before. And we believe in this model of the merchant consumer-sided business because there are a couple of good examples of where it's been done successfully before. American Express was the original pioneer in both being a merchant and consumer business, and more recently, PayPal. So we look at Yo-Yo as being the next natural evolution in that merchant consumer business model. I just want to step back and talk a little bit about how we've built our platform. From an architecture perspective, we've made it incredibly simple and incredibly scalable to power app experiences, whether those apps are an existing merchant app, whether the merchant needs an app, or whether, again, it's a bank app. So for the first time in the second half of this year, you will see some significant UK high street banks integrating the Yo-Yo wallet platform into their apps so that when you're using your card, your bank debit card or credit card, at the point of sale, Yo-Yo will be able to real-time match that card transaction to the basket data and to simply deliver all of your loyalty, all of your receipts directly to your banking app. We think that's going to be huge in terms of driving this new connected world of digital-first marketing to mobile wallets. From the merchant's point of view, as I mentioned earlier on, there is inherently no value in data. It's all about actionable insight. So for the merchant, we've delivered a tool called Engage. Engage delivers them real-time business intelligence and customer insight, single source CRM, but at the same time, it's giving them the tools to launch highly personalized marketing campaigns. The real endpoint for us with Engage is pretty simple. It's a big green button. It gets delivered every day to a merchant, and that green button will say, if you launch this campaign, we predict that your sales revenue will increase by X%. Marketing automation. Tesco Clubcard was one of the most successful loyalty programs ever created. 3,000 people at dunnhumby poring over the data that goes through the supermarket's point of sale every day. We're replacing those 3,000 people with 30 engineers and some pretty sweet algorithms. From a technology point of view, Yo-Yo has a very simple platform, 4 key components. I mentioned earlier on something called the Commerce API. That is our pipeline that connects to the point of sale, that enables us to capture all of the basket data, all of the customer data, whether that's in-store or online. The Identity API, when you saw the QR code, that's actually a dynamic QR code that changes every 30 seconds. It's a transaction token. So when you transact via Yo-Yo, you're not actually passing any personal or financial information, but we're able to identify you through that token. The Wallet API is all the magic around the experience. So whether that's you want somebody to run a reward program, whether that is the digitalized most receipt, whether it's vouchers, whatever it may be, all of that sits within the Wallet API. And the Insight API is us giving the ability for the retailer to plug in all of this rich data that we're capturing on their behalf into whatever system it is they're running today. It's a pretty ambitious play. It's working out quite well. More recently, last week, we announced a massive partnership with MasterCard that will see us front-end the ability to pay directly by a bank account. But some example partnerships here that we've been cooking away at shows that Yo-Yo is uniquely positioned in the market to really become a connector across the industry. In terms of commercial model, we found a way to monetize from day one. So a mixture of transaction fees, SaaS fees, development and maintenance fees enable us to say that in this last year, we've been doubling revenue year on year. This year will be about 10 million of revenue. Already looking like next year is going to be similar. Similar again, is in doubling. And just some quick numbers. We've raised 20 million today, have over 1.5 million registered users. More than 500,000 of those are active every month and transacting, processing a lot of transactions. Over 160 million pounds worth of value in total through a Yo-Yo powered app to date. Thank you.